welcome to another episode of our Wellness Wednesday Essentials. So as you've seen in our Facebook group and then in our newsletters, we've been sending information to you regarding this 5-day sleep challenge. So this is something that is really close and dear to me, considering this was our gateway into doTERRA. This is the reason that my family is here, the reason that I'm here in front of you. It all started with this. The beauty about doTERRA is we all come to the same place with different paths and different reasons. So it's a beautiful community, and it's a lot of wonderful support that we receive, not only just here in our private group, but with our other team members and our other vast doTERRA family. So I'm really happy to share with you today information on sleep and essential oils and get us started with this 5-day sleep challenge. So why is it not advancing for me? There we go. But first, before we get to the actual, meat and guts and all the goodness that comes with the sleep challenge, first I want to cover with you some things to keep in mind. We're definitely going to talk about the importance of sleep, and I will gladly share our story with you. We're going to talk about the 2 tools, natural tools, health tools that we're going to focus on for this challenge. Look at some daily habits that we can incorporate to help us get to a better place of sleep and to help us sleep longer and really take advantage of that time where our body is resetting and renewing itself. I'll give you a quick peek on our guide that you will use throughout this challenge. And then of course, I'll go over all the wonderful prizes that you can win by participating in this sleep challenge. So the importance of sleep. Before I get to that, let me just share with you how we got here. I'm sure some of you that have been around in our community for a while are familiar with, our sleep story. And it started when our journey started when my son was, oh my gosh. It's like, what would he be in this summer, in the spring of 2016 or 2017? Maybe it was 17, because I get my dates confused. Anyway, the spring, I'm going to say 2017. We homeschool, and one of the reasons that I love homeschooling is that we can set our own schedule. We determine what we're going to study, and we decide when we're going to study and how we're going to study. It's one of the beautiful things of homeschooling that I have really loved and appreciated. And side note, it's coming to an end soon. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm going to fill my time with. Anyway, so back to my story about sleep. I will let you know that, we never had an issue, or at least I didn't think we ever had an issue with sleep, at least not for my children. But through the grace of, divine intervention, my friend realized that my son was having a tough time. She was teaching a class. We'd had to get up early in the morning, and that really wasn't the way that we conducted our school days. And we had to be outside of home at a certain time. And it was really challenging for him because he does have sleep issues. And he still goes back and forth with those. I think right now it's more of a hormonal thing, but before it really was a cognitive thing. And she shared with us an oil vetiver. And up to this day, that is still one of the most important health tools in my family's toolbox. We use it on a daily basis. And when I first asked him if he would, try this oil, he's very tactile defensive, so it was a no-go. It wasn't going to happen. But then, having that conversation and that encouragement, and then just, if you don't like it and it doesn't work, we never have to revisit this again. And, the first night, nothing significant. Second night, nothing significant. Third night of using it, he wakes up and he says he had the best sleep of his life. And I knew then at that time that this was going to become part of our somehow it was going to be part of our family. Just didn't know the extent of it. So that was our first oil. And this sleep was our very first health concern for my family that was tackled with these beautiful essential oils. So fast forward, almost 5 years later, here we are. Here we are, and I'm sharing, sharing with you our sleep story and how important it is, for you guys to understand when you do have a sleep issue in your home. It becomes, sometimes so normal for us to sleep 2-3 hours a night. It becomes so normal to feel like we're groggy and dragging and low energy in the morning. It feels so normal to have, 4 or 5 cups of coffee throughout the day just to function. But just a side note, that is not normal. That is what we have adapted and migrated to help us cope with this sleep issue. So rather than doing that, doing all those things that we know are probably very unhealthy for us, why don't we tackle sleep in a more natural way to really get to the source of the problem? So the importance of sleep. I mentioned the cognitive functions of it. You just aren't as alert and not as quick to the fire with being able to focus, being able to carry out functions. You have attention relapses. It leaves you vulnerable for that. And that whole mood shifting. Who here hasn't had a bad night's sleep and wake up in the morning and you can bite somebody's head off just for looking at you the wrong way, right? Or talking to you before you've had your coffee. I am so guilty of that. But it does cause those mood shifts because we're not at a place of proper rest, and we haven't achieved that state of reset. Lack of sleep, I should say, does lead to a higher risk for certain medical conditions and diseases. Think about how heart disease is number one up there, and so is type 2 diabetes. Definitely obesity, because you're not allowing your body to reset itself, that hormonal shift. And you're trying to compensate, for the lack of energy by binge eating. Strokes are very common too for people that have sleep deprivation, and definitely that poor mental health that I mentioned before. So this is not like, it's not going to happen like right here and now because you didn't get a good night's sleep last night, but this is referring to constant days of not sleeping well over a period of time. We're looking at true sleep deprivation, true insomnia of not being able to get that good night's sleep. There's tons of studies that show sleep, a good night's sleep, or good sleep hygiene, I should say, helps to prevent depression. There was a study that was published in the Journal of JAMA Psychiatry that they studied, a group of people for over 10 years and looking at depression and then suicide within that group of people. And there was a major link to people that were sleep deprived that ended up, following through on those suicidal thoughts. So it really is important in preventing depression and also creating a strong immune system. Something that I want you to consider, it's not just, getting your hours of sleep, it's also quality of sleep. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night, lucky for you if you're able to get back to bed. Lucky for you if you're able to fall asleep. That doesn't happen for me. So it's really important for me to not have disturbed sleep, because once I'm up, I'm up. And then I'm not a very happy person because I didn't get my full, I function on 5-6 hours of sleep. I've tried to sleep past that and I do end up waking groggy, but that's just my personal wiring. So you really have to identify what is your personal wiring and how much sleep do you need for your lifestyle. So yeah, you have to keep in mind your quality of sleep. So the two health tools that I'm going to talk to you about that we're going to use and highlight during this sleep challenge are Serenity Restful Blend and the Serenity Restful Complex. Who here's a fan of Seinfeld? Every time I hear Serenity or I see the bottles, I always hear George in my head saying Serenity now. Yeah, I digress a lot. Anyway, so let's go back to Serenity Restful Blend. This is a really beautiful oil, and it is incredibly important for good sleep hygiene, especially here in my home. This has a blend of oils, proprietary blend of oils of lavender, cedarwood, hoe wood, ylang ylang, marjoram, Roman chamomile, vetiver, vanilla bean, absolute for like not so much as a calming essential oil, but more for a scent, a scent factor, and then of course Hawaiian sandalwood. So these oils are all known to have those grounding, soothing, calming properties. When Serenity is in the diffuser, it is one of the most beautiful calming scents that I've ever encountered. I tend to smell a lot of the woods in there, and it's probably because I gravitate to our wood oils a lot. I don't really smell the flowers in there, so I'm grateful for that because I don't care so much for the floral scents. But this one is just a really beautiful blend. It's not overpowering. It's just a gentle aroma that really helps you clear the mind and helps you get to a place of rest. Diffusing at night is by far the best way that I love to use Serenity. You could also apply this to the bottoms of your feet at bedtime. You can make yourself a little roller ball if that's easier for you and keep it on your nightstand, or you can just keep your bottle close by and just use it directly from the bottle. You can also, if you're having a really tough time and you need that extra, push into that state of rest, you can have a warm bath at night if that's what you like, with some Epsom salts and then a few drops of Serenity. I myself am not a bath person, but I do like foot baths. And I have found this to be, really calming for me as well. So there's different ways that you can use it. It is only intended for aromatic and topical use. It is not intended for internal use, which is why we have our Serenity Restful Complex. So these soft gels, and I'm wondering if you can see it through the camera. I'll pull it out just in case. And if not, I'll show you after. These are really small. They're very easy to swallow, even for those that have a difficult time swallowing capsules or pills or anything like that. So our Serenity Restful Complex includes our lavender essential oil. This is by far one of the best oils for relaxation and sleep. It has a really high concentration of linalool, which has been extensively studied for rest and relaxation and sleep. The benefit of that too is that it also helps to calm the nervous system, and that there's been lots of studies with our lavender and lavender essential oil in general that really show it has an emotional aspect to it. L-theanine is also in here, and this is a constituent of a green tea. And when we think of green tea, we think of caffeinated tea, right? But funny in that for most people, green tea doesn't have that stimulant effect to it. And it's possible it's because of this L-theanine component in there. This helps people stay asleep longer, and it helps you get a higher quality of sleep, which is really important, especially for someone like myself who does only sleep 5-6 hours a night. I really need to get into that state of deep sleep. I really need high quality sleep so that I can function well. L-theanine also acts as a neural transmitter to alter the levels of serotonin in the brain. So you may know already that serotonin is something that's released by our body to calm us down, right? So it plays a key role. There's still studies out on the exact mechanism of how that works, but there's enough studies out there to show that it does affect that level of serotonin. It plays a role in that. And it also includes 3 botanical extracts in there. You have lemon balm, passion flower, and chamomile. All 3 of these have been shown to provide a lot of soothing, relaxing, and grounding properties to the body, effects to the body. So this really makes for a very potent and powerful complex. And you only need to take 1 or 2 soft gels before sleep. The beauty about Serenity Restful Complex is if you are one that has a lot of anxious moments and stressful moments throughout your day, this really does help during that time frame as well. Taking one just to kind of help calm the body without getting you to that place of sleep, especially if you have those tendencies, it's a really good alternative to our adaptive capsules if you don't have those on hand. I know that this played a key role not only for sleep for us, but anxiety for my daughter. She really leaned into our Serenity essential oil for this. And so, yeah, it's just another option for you as well. Just, shows how diverse our oils are. I guarantee you're going to buy an oil for one thing and use it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 other ways. And they're just so versatile and powerful. So doTERRA conducted their own clinical trial on Serenity Restful Complex. It was a double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial, and it just really focused on Serenity Restful Complex. So the people that took these before bed reported that they had significant improvements in their ability to fall asleep more easily, and they reported improvements in waking up more easily and feeling more alert and refreshed. That's what I really love about this. If I'm having a tough time sleeping and I take 1 or 2 of these at night, I know when I wake in the morning, I'm not going to feel groggy. I'm not going to have that medicinal hangover. I'm not going to be fuzzy. I'm not going to be heavy-headed. I had major sleep issues when I was in my early 20s, even up until my early 30s. And I went through my whole gamut of over-the-counter sleep aids. And yeah, it worked for maybe a week or 2, but then it didn't work for me anymore. And I was just a mess when it came to sleep. And, I just finally decided that there was nothing out there for me. I threw away all the sleep aids because I hated the side effects. I was able to get to sleep with some of them, and some of them I was able to stay asleep. But I always woke up very heavy-headed with a lot of brain fog and a lot of just that fuzziness and that grogginess. And I felt like I had been hit by a Mack truck. So it took me a while to get over that because I really was, looking for a solution. And, in the long run, I was just doing more damage to my health and my sleep regimen than, taking care of it and doing something good for it. So that's what I really love about this. And this is another one that we always have it on hand. And it's so safe that my kids use it. I think my son's been using it now for a couple of years since he was able to swallow capsules. And the same with my daughter. It definitely helps us during those times of competition season for Science Olympiad. It's what we use to get to bed at night. Take one of these, a Copaiba, and maybe even an adaptive at one point in time. And it just really helps us get to that place of sleep. So moving on to some natural ways that you can support your sleep better. You don't have to tackle all these habits at once. You can do one, incorporate one, and once you get comfortable with that one, incorporate another one. That's the best way to, to bring about change in your daily activities and your daily regimen. Start slow. You don't have to go and do, everything all at once. That's just going to set you up to fail, and then you're not going to want to continue trying anything new. But this way, you can really look at focusing on one thing, mastering it before you go on to something else. So these are really easy, you guys. It's not crazy. It's not, out of this world, impossible to do. But there is science behind it to support these simple daily habits that we can incorporate for better sleep. So first of all, sunlight. Sunlight it helps us regulate our sleep-wake cycle. So if you're not one to get up early and go for a walk outdoors, maybe that's something that you can focus on first and foremost, okay? Try to get yourself out into sun or, sunlight, or expose yourself to light when you're waking. That helps to reset our bodies more quickly from that wake sleep cycle. So 20 minutes, not only helps to regulate that cycle, but, you get your daily dose of vitamin D as well. So start with that. Try to get yourself up and get yourself outdoors to get some sunlight on your skin. Another habit that you can incorporate is stop eating 1 hour before bedtime. Try to get, your meals in at least before 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, depending upon what time you fall asleep. So food has a tendency to reduce our our REM cycle of sleep. And this is the part of the cycle that increases our brain activity. This is the one that helps us to stay focused the next day. So it's really important that we tap into that REM cycle as much as possible during our sleep, during our, dedicated sleep time. So stop eating before, and then try not to have, heavy, rich foods before then. If you do, use some Terrazyme to kind of help with that digestive process. You don't want a whole lot of things going on in your body while you're trying to sleep, right? Caffeine, limit your intake. I'm guilty of having 2 cups every day. I can have more coffee. I just love the way it tastes. I love the way it smells. I love the way it makes me feel. I love the memories that it provokes. But I really have to be completely aware and intentional of my caffeine intake. So I have had to limit myself to 2 cups during the day. And it has to be in the morning, because if I try to have a cup of coffee in the afternoon, I guarantee you I'm going to have a really lousy time getting myself to sleep. It's going to require more intentional steps, more tools to get me to that place. So this doesn't have to be coffee. It could be tea, black tea. It could be sodas. It could be sugary drinks as well. So just try to limit your intake, and try to get them in at least by 1, 2, no later than 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so that you're not setting off something in your sleep cycle. Screens, put those screens away an hour before bedtime. So the screens emit blue light, and this overstimulates our brain. So it kind of goes to that phase of I'm awake right now and it's daytime. So you have to limit your exposure to that blue light. And it also, leads to information overload. What are you using your screen for? Are you watching shows at night? Are you checking social media? That can increase your stress levels too. And that whole social aspect of having to stay connected and having to see what's going on in the world, that can bring its own trauma to you. It could, signal your brain we need to stay alert. We need to stay awake to see what else is going to happen. So try to put this away at least an hour before you go to bed. And something that I have found that is really beneficial to me is journaling before bed. I just literally do a mental dump, because if I don't do that, I'm taking my list to bed with me, and I'm checking off things that I've done or things that still need to be done. And then it creates a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress, a little bit of worry that I didn't finish everything that I wanted to do the day. So I have found that journaling really helps with that mental dump and clearing the brain. I sometimes, just to even get, more to that place of releasing, is, okay, so I didn't get this done today. What can I do tomorrow to get it done? So that has really helped me a lot. You could also journal, your emotions, what you were feeling. Maybe if you're keeping a sleep journal, you can look at things that, what did you eat during the day that may affect your sleep? What did you do during the day that may affect your sleep? It's not listed here, but another healthy habit could be exercise. Maybe you can put that together with that 20 minutes of sun exposure and just go for a walk in the morning. Numerous studies have shown that exercise improves sleep, bottom line. And it doesn't have to be strenuous. It doesn't have to be high intensity. It doesn't have to be for an extended period of time. 20 minutes, go for a walk. It's gonna have some positive impact on you. And then I already talked about a bath. If this is something that you can, that you gravitate to, a relaxing bath, with the Epsom salts help to relax our muscles. And if you add your essential oils to the Epsom salts first before putting it into your bath, you'll have a heightened relaxation period for sure. So those are just some of the things that we can incorporate. Again, start slow. Start with one thing. Maybe for you, it is the screens. Maybe you are someone that stays up late to, follow up on the news or watch something on television. I've removed television from my bedroom years ago because it was just very disruptive. Even if I wasn't the one watching television and my husband was, it was very disruptive to my sleep. So we've just done away with the screens in the bedroom, and I encourage you to do that too. So the guide, If you have signed up for the challenge, you should have received a link to download your guide. So this kind of just gives you some information again about sleep, and you'll find your sleep tracker in there. So this is, to do over five days, do it in the morning, do it at night. It's very simple. I'm not asking you to commit a whole journal page to it. It really is just looking at some things to consider so that at the end of 5 days, you can go back and look at your sleep tracker and identify some areas that can be improved. So if you've already received yours, great. If you signed up and you haven't received yours, please let me know so I can get that link over to you again. I haven't seen or heard of anybody having issues downloading it from our website. So make sure that if you registered, click on that link and then you let me know if you're able to download it or not, all right? So this is a really key part, and it'll get you into that habit of journaling too before bed, even though you're not really like journaling, mental dump kind of thing. You're just answering just a few questions. It's really easy, you guys. And part of being eligible to win the prizes will be a completed sleep tracker. You'll have to either send me a picture of it or upload your completed form, whichever, as long as I have proof that you have completed the challenge. Because what's the point of committing to something and saying you didn't? And anyway, I just, accountability is huge for me. And this is one way that I can hold you and me accountable to this challenge. I will be completing my own tracker as well, and I will be sharing that with you whenever I complete my 5 days. So really what you need, once you register, you'll get your link to download your guide. You'll also, if you are not a member already and you don't have access to Serenity soft gels and the oil, you'll receive those as well. And because of that, I've extended the prizes window so that anybody who wants to join us now, and I just noticed I misspelled vetiver there. That's actually just anyway, it still says vetiver. Anyway, so your prizes, one person will win one of our Sweet Dreams kit. So this has a full bottle of Serenity Restful Complex and Serenity oil with one of my favorite diffusers, the Rome. I really love how you can transport this around, and I just really like the look of it, the marble look to it. I just really love this diffuser. And this is one of those limited time kits, so it may disappear soon. So if you're a member and you want to snag yours, you should get to it soon because I know that there will be some changes coming around May 1st. But anyway, one of our members, I'm sorry, not one of our members, one of our participants for the Sleep Challenge will win a Sweet Dreams kit. 2 people will win one of our newest additions to our essential oils, the Vetiver Touch. So I told you our story with Vetiver, and just the beginning of April, it was now available in a touch, which makes perfect sense because Vetiver is such a thick, viscous oil, and it's hard sometimes to get it out of its bottle. You have to be very patient for it. You have to love Vetiver to sit around and wait for it. So having it in a touch form just makes everything so easy. And we'll have 2 winners of those. And then 3 people will win Seth Serum. So this we've used since day one, since we discovered doTERRA, and I learned how to make roller balls, which is my absolute favorite thing to do. It really is. I love to make roller balls. So this has, I didn't write it down, but I'm going to go from memory because it doesn't really change. It has Serenity, Vetiver, cedarwood, lavender, and breathe. We love those oils in there, and it has proven to be incredibly effective for sleep for not just our family, but for many families that I have shared this recipe with. So 3 winners will get that little DIY roller. So let's see, I think that might be it. Oh, there's the link to register for the sleep challenge. And like I said, I was gonna extend the prize window for winners to be selected on May 15th. That way it gives you guys who are just now starting and still haven't received your samples in the mail to still be qualified to win the prizes. So share this challenge with somebody that you know could really use some help. I know I would have loved to have received the Serenity Restful Complex years ago. I know I was having issues sleeping way before doTERRA came around, but man, you know, had I had that earlier for myself, I would have just absolutely loved to have been a part of that. I mean, to have that just with my for myself, I love that. So thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing, and that way I can answer any questions that you guys might have. I do want to show you what the Serenity soft gel looks like. Okay. Welcome, Angela. I think she kind of got freaked out that we heard her. Anyway, here it is. You see, it's really, really small, right? And this is a bottle. It has 60 soft gels in here. So even if you're taking one a night, that's 2 months worth, right? Or if you're taking one or two, it's definitely a month's worth. So they're really small, easy to take, and they really are very, very effective. And the oil, you'll see, it just, I can really smell all of the wood oils in here. And an easy way to use it, of course, is in your diffuser. But if you don't have a diffuser, just put a drop in your hands like that, rub them together, and inhale. God, that smells so good. And then I like to take it and just rub it on my neck. And then you can also take just a bit and rub it on your temples, and then rub some on the bottoms of your feet. All right. So something that I've done in the past too, this is just another hack. I'm full of oil hacks. I like to get the most out of my oils, and I like to get the most out of my money. So whenever I come down to a bottle that has just a little bit of oil left, I go ahead and add, you know, all of our, you know, Seth's serum oils in here, and top it off with fractionated coconut oil and a rollerball cap. And then I have this to share with somebody that would need it, or to even pack it into, you know, one of our suitcases, just in case, you know, we forget to pack it when we travel. So it really is just something that I like to do. But these right here, my friends, this is going to change your sleeping life for sure. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can post comments underneath the video, or you can send us an email, you can text, whatever is more convenient for you. And I look forward to doing this challenge with you and hearing your results and seeing your results and just really getting your feedback. I know that this is going to create a major change and a major shift for you. So I'm excited for all of those of you that have signed up for the challenge. I can't wait to hear your feedback. And if you haven't signed up already, make sure you do so soon so that I can get these out in the mail to you, or get them delivered to you if you're local. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today. And we'll see you next time for our next Wellness Wednesday. Peace.